count. Touchdown, Greg Alexson. Long bomb, baby.
Look out. Picked off.
Goodbye.
And goodbye. It's Brandon Smith.
Here they come again. Down he goes again. Sack squad continues.
Arbuckle can get the job done.
Touchdown.
Oh, looking like a nice summer Saturday afternoon in Calgary as fans tailgate outside McMahon Stadium and mistreat the other team's T-shirts. Fans of both the Stamps and Edmonton Eskimos get set for the first Battle of Alberta for 2019. A full month ahead of their traditional Labor Day showdown, and it is coming up on the CFL on TSN, and a live mic game as well coming up on TSN. Welcome, Rod Smith, Davis Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, and Milt Stiegel. 2 4-2 teams. Second place. One's going to join Winnipeg for first in the West Division. So that leads us to Coors Light answering the call for these two teams, the Eskimos and the Stampeders. Jazz?
The offensive line, the 2 tackles for the Calgary Stampeders, Kaza Tati and Dennis. And the reason why, it's not their fault, they're forced in this predicament, but Alex Bazzi is back on the roster for the Eskimos. Their D-line, their ends are 4 sacks and 3 sacks. They get after it. Bazzi back. He wants his job back. He wants to be on rotation. And he's going to be hungry. So they got to answer the call because I believe Alex Bazzi will make a big difference in that rotation.
Yeah, and another guy who wants his job back is C.J. Gable, and he's got it. And I think he's motivated. He's got to step up to the plate because of what Fort Hays State did last week. Shaquille Cooper, 176 yards of total offense and went off, but this guy is special himself. He's got to step up and not only battle the Calgary Stampeders, but battle for his job once again.
Well, for me, it's C.J. Gable's quarterback, Trevor Harris. And don't get me wrong, in my opinion, I think Trevor Harris has been the best quarterback in the CFL so far this season. He leads the league in passing yards. He has 8 touchdowns, but 6 of those touchdowns came in the first 2 games. 3 of the last 4 games he's played in, he hasn't thrown a touchdown. I think he's going to have to throw some touchdowns to win this game. He'll be missing one of his best weapons, Greg Ellington, out. But if you're a great quarterback, regardless who's playing, you're going to find some way to score some touchdowns. He definitely needs to do that today.
And you talk about defending against that big Edmonton pass rush. If Calgary can get a running game going, and Kadeem Carey was out, but Romar Morris, just the timing is perfect back in the lineup. Live mics, well, here, of course, and also there with the players with Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter as well. That call is coming up.
Down he goes. He'll get dropped by White Rose.
Let's go.
What's up? Look out. Picked off.
Goodbye.
And goodbye. It's Brandon Smith.
What it is.
Intercepted. Trey Robertson.
He's got 3 tonight.
Let's get it. We do it big.
Intercepted. It's Trey Robertson again. And it is a pick 6.
Put your hands up.
This program may contain coarse language that could offend some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Peaceful on the Bow River, anything but at McMahon Stadium as the Alberta rivalry is renewed. First of 3 clashes between the Eskimos and Stampeders with a share of first place in the West on the line with the mics hot.
Yeah, the mics are hot and live. Cordero Law and Trevor Harris mic'd up tonight. And when Calgary has the ball, it'll be Nick Arbuckle, of course, quarterbacks mic'd up like last year in the live mic games. And this year, it's a defensive player as well. So we've got a mic on Josh Johnson. We'll listen in that Edmonton huddle on defense.
Both teams 4-2. Jason Moss's club looking for its first regular season win here at McMahon since 2015. And for Dave Dickinson, the 15th consecutive year, the Calgary Stampeders have been at least 500 through the first third of the regular season. Underway, wind at the back of the Eskimos to start here. And Terry Williams on the return, and he bounces out across the 30-yard line to set things up for Nick Arbuckle, who had 370 yards in passing last week, but Calgary didn't generate a touchdown offensively in their win against Ottawa.
Start number 5 for Arbuckle. He's 3-1 as a starter. First start against the Edmonton Eskimos in this Battle of Alberta.
Ugly 73 rattle HROT lead backside W hitch on goal.
Baby. Yeah. Hey, money. Come steal this dig.
Dangleton on the waggle. And Arbuckle looks to the far side and reaching back to make the catch is Markeith Ambles.
Hey. I thought you were going to convert.
Starting tailback with Arbuckle will be Romar Morris. The guys on the panel mentioned his first game back from injury, ahead of schedule, which is good news for Calgary fans. And a couple of young guards, Justin Lawrence and Ryan Sevier, are going to start both out of Alberta, and both 23 years old.
Justin Lawrence from Spruce Grove fears Arbuckle on 2nd and 8. Over the middle, and the pass is dropped. Ambles can't hang on. It's a 2-and-out to start for the Stampeders.
Not on Arbuckle. He knifed that one in there, and he gave Markeith Ambles a great shot at it and a chance to protect himself as well, because there was Edmonton defenders on either side of number 17. Just gave him a chance to slide in there. He just let it hit the turf.
40th 2-and-out forced by the Edmonton defense. That's tops in the Canadian Football League. Martese Jackson's back. Rob Maver to punt into this breeze in the first quarter. Good move. Sends Jackson back inside his 20. Just one big return for Jackson so far, and contained here. Nate Hawley down, and that is his 10th special team tackle to lead the Calgary Stampeders. Here comes Trevor Harris looking for his first ever win as a starter against Calgary.
Yeah, 0-6-2 in his career against the Stampeders.
Here we go. We got quads right, tight, X flow. We got 40 arc, wide brick, Z smoke. On one ready.
Eskimos start at the 18 with C.J. Gable in the backfield, and the handoff straight ahead, and Gable with a good run up to the 25 has 7.
Gable back. Heard the guys talk about Shaq Cooper, 128 yards rushing. Nothing pushes a player, even a veteran player, more than the guy behind him on the depth chart. So look for a big game from C.J. Gable. And Tommy Draheim is up against Cordero Law tonight. Watch that matchup.
Brown. Go! 180! 180!
First pass of the game for Harris out of the backfield was Gable, who dropped the ball. And are they going to rule that a completion and down by contact? Be a first down for C.J. Gable.
Nate Dickinson wants to try and get a quick look at this to see if he might challenge that it was a fumble. Reach for that pocket.
Couple steps there, and he was down.
Yeah, down by contact.
Brown can't make you fumble. Back in Gable's hands for the 3rd consecutive time, and he plows up to the 34.
Cordero Law leads the team with sacks 5, second in the CFL behind Charleston Hughes. Good group up front. Corey Greenwood's having a big year, 48 defensive plays. That's number 1 in the Canadian Football League. Also has added an interception and a sack. Roberson tied for the league in interceptions. He's got 5 on the year.
And the Stampeders have not surrendered a big play this year. Not one rush by 20 yards or more, or a pass play by 30 or more.
Go! Hurry, sit down!
And underneath it goes. Pass caught by Ricky Collins. See where forward progress is. Had to get to the 40, and they're going to mark him just inside that. It's going to be third and less than a yard.
I don't think there's any question. Edmonton goes here.
Hold up. Big team.
Well, they're marking it as a first down.
Don't need to go.
Here we go. King's right.
Looks like they had to get right to the 40-yard line.
Green 64. Our drag.
I think Dave had the same question.
65.
Coach Dickinson down there saying, did that marker gave it to him.
Green. Go. Hurry.
Three receivers near side. The ball comes that way, and Ricky Collins gets stuck by Raheem Wilson, the young corner in that
Green.
refurbished defensive secondary of the Stampeders.
Here we go. Green 64. Hey, Hickey. Hey, wide Cherry. Our dog stop. Cherry. 64. UFR. Hurry.
Second and 5. And that pass knocked down. Great jump on the ball for Deshaun Amos.
I don't know if you heard it at home, but Cordero Law got things lined up because he had, I believe it was Chris Casher on the wrong side and the wrong alignment.
I thought it was back solo.
Getting things straightened out on the sideline.
There is Romar Morris back from that Achilles injury suffered in the Western Final last year. Terry Williams, the other man back. Hugh O'Neill the punt. And it's Williams from the 16-yard line. Finds a crease. And up to the 40. A good return of 24 to set things up for Nick Arbuckle just nicely underway. The Battle of Alberta renewed. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, the official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Stampeder football at the 39-yard line for the second Calgary offensive series of the game. And here's Romar Morris. First carry since the West Final. Short gain there against an Edmonton defense that's #1 in points allowed and against the pass, yards allowed.
Led by the veteran, 9-year veteran, Elmondo Sewell in the middle. Larry Dean, 27 defensive tackles, leads the defense. But this is a group that has given up just 17 points a game. Josh Johnson, as we mentioned, is going to be Mike tonight. I've heard him, I don't know if you have at home, but I've heard him a couple of times talking to Money Hunter right beside him.
#1 in sacks. Set up the screen here. Romar Morris. There's Calgary's initial first down. The guy who had 4 touchdowns in the Labor Day rematch last year against Edmonton has Calgary's initial first down.
Yeah, Romar Morris back in his first game. Dave Dickinson told me that he would be, used in a rotation with Terry Williams and maybe even a little bit of Ante Milanovic leader because they want to get blocking in the passing game with their fullback. So they're going to rotate the 3 of them, but there's the numbers September 8th.
20-yard pickup. Williams hit the backfield, but escaped initially. Gets tracked down by Larry Dean back in the line of scrimmage.
So you saw the rotation immediately. Coach Dickinson, after the one play from Romar Morris, usually you'd leave your tailback in there and let him get in a groove and get in a roll. But he wants to be careful with them, make sure he eases himself into it. You can be in great shape in practice. Game day is different. You're going to be careful and watch Romar Morris closely.
Second and 9. Underneath it goes. Williams again. Nowhere to go as he gets forced out. That's Money Hunter stepping up from his defensive halfback spot. Sets up third down.
couple of areas on the field that you really do have to communicate well. One is the defensive backfield. The other is that O-line.
Against the wind, they will not try what would have been a 52-yard field goal. It's Maver looking for the corner. 3 times inside the 10 so far this year. Pressure was on. Line drive boot. That is going to go out around that 10-yard line. They're going to mark him out right at the 10. Trevor Harris 35-22 against the rest of the Canadian Football League, but hasn't solved the riddle that's the Calgary Stampeders yet.
That stat at the bottom, most against any team, is the reason for the one at the top. And boy, has he avoided the interception this year. Just 2 on the season for Trevor Harris after 6 games.
Holding penalty on the punt, drives him back to the 5. Gable not going very far on that carry. First contact made by Chris Casher.
Here we go, hustle cookie, hustle cookie, hustle cookie, hustle cookie, pony dunk. Hey, cookie.
2nd and 9.
Hustle, hustle, hustle. Hey, where are we going? Where are we going? Here we go. Go! Hurry, hurry.
Flag comes down. Harris steps up. A second flag is thrown. And a incomplete pass on the sidelines intended for Kevin Elliott in his first start. Was with Trevor Harris as a Toronto Argonaut.
Like the way Harris asked, where are we going? And Travis Bond was the guy who, well, he was talking to the O-line. He was up there talking to the O-line. Where are you going? Which direction are you going? He needed to know which guy could be free. DeVaris Daniels was on the depth chart, but scratched today. So Kevin Elliott gets the start. No Greg Ellingson in this one.
Offside, Calgary number 41. Holding, Edmonton number 52. Half distance to goal, 2nd down.
So Cordero Law was offside, a holding call against the left guard, Jacob Ruby.
Yeah.
And the Eskimos, the most penalized team, but had a practice this week where no penalties were called first time this year.
Here we go, hey, 5th week right, hustle Rice. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Go!
So 2nd down over, have to get to the 15. Here comes pressure over the middle, Elliott's got it. And a big first down on Kevin Elliott's first catch of the year. Played in the final game last year and had a couple of receptions.
Well, that's a monster play. You know, and I know it's first quarter. I know there's no score on the clock, but when you're backed up on your own 5 and have to get out of the hole, and even just to give yourself room to punt the ball if you have to in a couple of plays, very important to get that field position back or it turns into points when Calgary gets the ball back.
24-yard pickup and a first down. Now Harris hit as he tried to throw. Ball popped out. Edmonton on it, and they are ruling that a fumble. Colin Kelly gets on it.
Kelly gets on it. The first thing I look at is the quarterback and his health, because when he's getting ready to torque and throw that football and just unleash it, and it looked like it was a downfield throw that Trevor Harris was stepping up and trying to accomplish here, and then he gets hit and the ball and the motion stops suddenly, that's when you can damage your shoulder, but it looks like Harris is okay.
And that was Cordero Law. 2nd in the league with 5 sacks. And a flag comes down.
And so does a little rain, I think,
Yeah,
here.
where's that coming from?
McMahon was a
Procedure. Edmonton 67-64. Second down, repeat, 5 yards back.
appears to be an absolutely beautiful night here. I can't even see any clouds, and yet there's rain coming down. So
Hey, we got quadrant strip. Quadrant 74. Hey, what do you want? Strip. Stutter cat.
Both
strip,
tackles
Strip, 74, strip.
were offside. So 2nd and 13.
Green. Go. Hurry, set.
Wide side
Look out.
jump and off
Look
the
out.
hands of Kenny Stafford with Trey Robertson on the prowl on the hot corner where he's got 5 interceptions on the year.
And 5 knockdowns, leads the team in that category as well. So he's had his hand on the ball 10 times, and a couple of those could have turned into interceptions as well. This one, he had better position than Trevor Harris's receiver. He was inside of Kenny Stafford, closer to the ball, and Stafford just tipped it away, or that's another pick.
So O'Neal to punt. Line drive has Williams backpedaling, misplayed it over his head and inside the 20, but look out, flags come down. So Terry Williams gonna run away, but it's likely coming back. Couple of flags on the play will negate in the year of the return, another
absolutely
touchdown return.
Saw 2 last night. Big game in the special teams for the Ottawa Red Blacks against Montreal.
During the return, illegal block, Calgary, number 47. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's the rookie Fraser Sopick, who has been so good on the teams this year, but an illegal block here on the back of James Tuck that helps bring Williams headed the other way. Big blast by Hugh O'Neal and a penalty wiping out a huge return for Terry Williams. And when the dust settles, it's first down Calgary at their own 15.
Now, you're right about Fraser Sopick's been outstanding in the special teams as a block punt this year. That was just a bad decision.
70-yard punt for O'Neal, and the penalty negates a 93-yard return. William Longley can't hang on. Got Josh Johnson on the mic. What a game he had against Toronto as the Eskimos pitched the shutout last week. Johnson 5 tackles, 2 knockdowns, a tackle for a loss, and his first interception as an Eskimo. Second and 10. Arbuckle time.
Got him.
Takes the shot, and the ball is dropped. So incomplete. Richie Sindani couldn't hold on.
Sindani lines up in the slot here, and he's going to just try to find that skinny post. I thought the timing and the throw, the accuracy of the throw, outstanding here from Arbuckle, giving his receiver a chance, but Money Hunter didn't give up on it and ripped it out of there. Little help from Jordan Hoover as well.
Arbuckle with the top percentage on passes of over 20 yards this season.
2 plays and 1 bad decision, and what a difference in field position.
Pressure on Maver, but gets it away. Martese Jackson to the 55, and he hit a wall there and brought down quickly. But a nice defensive play by Money Hunter that kept Calgary backed up as the ball just jarred loose. There's Bo Levi Mitchell making progress and trying to dry off. And also doing that is Sarah Orleski on the sidelines.
Oh, I'm definitely not dry right now, Chris. Make no mistake about it. The cloud is right above me. It's the first time since 2013 that Bo Levi Mitchell hasn't been starting a quarterback for a Battle of Alberta. He is getting closer to returning, though, so the expectation is he will be when the Labor Day Classic happens. I spoke to him today. He said that he threw for the first time yesterday. He threw 50 balls all around the 10-yard range. Said that no surprise, it was a little bit stiff in the beginning, but then it was able to loosen up around his 15th throw. He wanted to try to go a little bit farther than 10 yards, was held back for it, though. He will begin practicing this week, and he has August 17th against the Montreal Alouettes here at McMahon Stadium circled as his return date.
And Sarah, they tell us if you wait 10 minutes, the weather will change here.
Or if you want to go to the Edmonton side of the field, I think it's sunny on their side and raining on Calgary's. This
Offside.
is bizarre.
Edmonton, number 18. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Kevin Elliott ahead of the snap.
Sunny and raining all at the same time. I talked to Dave Dickinson about Bo and his development. He said they've got a short week after this game before they play the Bombers, and then they've got a bye after that. But Dave would like to have Bo in practice, as Sarah mentioned, and ready to play just in case they want to go with Bo and bring him back for that Winnipeg game. So we'll see how he progresses. Get closer, though.
First and 15, toss, incomplete.
You know, but I think health-wise, he feels like he's good to go. Now they want to just ease him back so he doesn't just, start
I have a rule about this, okay?
chunking it deep. He was out there talking to the fans and hanging out and signing some autographs in pregame. And, you never know, too. The way quarterbacks have been going down, if Nick Arbuckle got nicked, he may have to play against Winnipeg. I think ideally, though, if they had their pick, they would wait until after the bye, after the Winnipeg Blue Bomber game. So we'll see how he goes this week in practice.
Second and 15, pocket collapsing, and that pass may have been tipped as they tried to check down to Tavon Smith.
That's on me.
Quick 2 and out, and the offense is really having trouble
That last one's on me.
getting anywhere.
Not sure if you heard that, but Trevor Harris on the way to the bench said that one was on me. He just was trying to throw around the rush there and missed his target.
So Hugh O'Neill to punt on third down. Looking to back them up with another big boot. Morris fields down at the 11. And lost the football. Edmonton had a shot at it, and it's picked up by Enzi Milanovic, leader, to save it for the Stampeders.
Well, the field is flopped, and it's been flopped for a couple of reasons. That one play a couple series ago from Trevor Harris getting it off his 5-yard line and down to around the 30. The big punt, the bad decision by Calgary Sopik on the return on the clipping penalty. That put Calgary deep. Now this punt and fumble, and the Stampeders are on their own 5-yard line. So it's flipped from one end of the field to the exact opposite in about 3 or 4 plays.
Tanner Green, the forced fumble. You saw Jason Moss gesturing to his cover team, just knocked the ball out of bounds. But they tried to jump on it and were unable to come up with it. And here is Morris off the right side. Nice burst by him. Taekwon Glass, the tackle, but a run to get them out of the shadow of their goalpost.
That's the other thing Coach Dickinson told me yesterday about Romar Morrison watching him, is that he hasn't taken a hit in 8.5 months. So that takes a while to get back into the flow of taking the pounding, taking the tackles, taking the hits, and bouncing back up.
So much for home field advantage. It continues to rain on the Calgary bench, and the Eskimos appear to be in complete sunshine.
We're trying to take a shot right now.
Like Money Hunter was nicked on the play.
That last play and the good run by Morris off the edge. Watch the young 23-year-old Ryan Sevier right here get to that next level and get the key block on linebacker to make sure that he gives his running back that edge, because that's the guy who's got to scrape to the outside and turn Morris back in. So trying to watch those young guards and Justin Lawrence and Ryan Sevier and see how they hold up against a great rotation and front seven in Edmonton.
Nick Taylor checks into the game. And a plunge ahead for the first down.
No Shane Bergman. Both these guys in their second year, one from the U of A, the other from University of Calgary, and both in their second year, so they know the system, but 23 years old, both of them. They're young and inexperienced, and boy, this front seven in Edmonton has been the strength of their team. 23 sacks, which is first in the Canadian Football League. They're getting their hands full up front.
Final play, first quarter. Sideline pass, and Ambles gets away and brings it up to the 25-yard line. So about 8 for Ambles on the final play of a scoreless opening quarter at McMahon.
This program may contain coarse language that could offend some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Well, defense dominates the opening quarter. The biggest play, a 93-yard punt return taken off the board by penalty.
Yeah, just 100 yards there of offense combined between the two teams. You're playing against good defenses here in this one tonight. The Edmonton Eskimos lead in most categories. Calgary's not far behind. So not surprising to see the offense is getting off to a slow start. That was a big penalty by Fraser Sopek. He's been so good on the teams. I look for him to make a couple of big plays for the Calgary Stampeders on the teams before this one's over. That's what good players do.
How do you think they're going to be able to crack through against these defenses? Anything in particular you're looking for?
Well, you know, I think you just, as a quarterback for both these teams, Trevor Harris and Nick Arbuckle, you know, go ahead and take some shots deep, try to loosen things up a little bit. When the defenses are playing confidently, they want to jump routes. So a couple double moves and try and get in behind them.
Second and short, play action, and they miss Ambles on the slant pattern on 2nd and 2, and the punt team will have to come on.
You know, and for Nick Arbuckle in this Calgary offense, he needs some help from his receivers. Not necessarily on this play here, but Ambles dropped one in the first quarter. Sindani dropped one that was right down the seam in the first quarter. It was contested, but got to win that a couple of times for your get the receivers, give their young quarterback a little help.
So Rob Paver, first punt with the win. Bart sees Jackson at the 40. Gets a block at the point of contact, but that draws a flag. Thursday Night Football presented by The Brick continues next week. The Stampeders take on the Blue Bombers, featuring a live halftime performance by blistering rock duo The Crown Lands. Gets the action 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on TSN. Both teams in the middle third of the season play each other 3 times, and Winnipeg once, so they're getting into the meat of the schedule.
Yeah.
Hey, we got East
Labor
Trip
Day
Trek, East
back-to-backs
Trip Trek,
coming up.
RPO, we got 98 Swab, X Smoke on one ready.
But for Calgary, that's a 5-day
Smoke.
break that they have to go on the road to Winnipeg. That's going to be a tough turnaround for the Stampeders. Then they get the bye.
An illegal block on that punt return. Puts the ball back on the 32.
Cordero Law just read that one.
Law tracks down C.J. Gable. Don't need a mic to notice him so far.
I'm a little surprised he isn't a little more chatty after a play like that. He comes down hard here from the backside and just runs this down, runs C.J. Gable down. Trevor Harris is going to have to pull it and bootleg it a couple times to hold him.
Second tackle for a loss for Law. Second and long again. Harris throws into traffic and caught on the tip. Brought down by Kenny Stafford. Will be short of the first down, but the Eskimos fortunate that was not intercepted.
See Deshaun Amos jump this so quickly. I mean, whether it's Roberson, the veteran Brandon Smith, this secondary is playing with great confidence this year. And that's what I mean about throwing these curls and intermediate routes. They are jumping like they have nothing to fear. And when that happens, a double move, now you have to have time to throw a double move from the quarterback spot, but a double move or a couple of deep routes, seam routes, has got to try and loosen up this Calgary secondary. Get them to back off you a little bit.
Pair of 2 and outs for each team so far. Line drive by O'Neill. And here's Williams. Past the first wave and the second.
That's up.
And now maybe outside over midfield before he's driven out by Vontae Diggs. Stampeder bench didn't like the way Diggs took that extra shot, but it is the Battle of Alberta. And it's on here at McMahon. Great return by Terry Williams, setting up the Stamps with great field position.
This is what we were talking about at the break. First place in most categories. This one, 23 sacks on the season. That leads the Canadian Football League, but passing yards allowed, 177.8 in the pass-happy Canadian Football League. To be under 200 is remarkable. That's why
most yards allowed in one game, 212 passing yards.
I was saying the strength of this team is that front seven.
Here are the Stamps. Arbuckle was pressured. Vontae Diggs on the blitz forces that incompletion.
And they didn't disguise it this time. They just lined up on the line of scrimmage and got after it. Especially with a guy in his 5th start. I mean, Nick Arbuckle admitted to us yesterday, he said, you know, that's why he leans on Bo Levi Mitchell on the sideline sometimes. He leans on him to say, you played against these teams. What are you seeing? Philip Lawley's got him dialed up.
Second and
Comes
10,
again.
pressure again. Pass for Rogers. And who's got it? Is that a simultaneous catch? No, Rogers hanging on. And close to a first down.
That's the help I was talking about.
Yep.
And the help comes from number 4. No surprise there. When they really need one, they need to get a little confidence. They need a receiver to step up and make one. He wins that contested because Hunter jumps it. Just fights for it and gets there, but still a yard and a half, 2 yards, and Dave Dickinson's putting the kick team out with the wind at his back. He's going to try for 3 here.
Going to send out Rennie Paredes in his 150th game. The all-time leader in accuracy at 87.1% in his career. And this from 47 yards out of the hold of Rob Maver, and Paredes on the money. Walk-off last week in Ottawa. And he opens the scoring here. 3-0 Calgary early, second quarter. Mentioned Trevor Harris still looking for his first win against Calgary. That includes a loss in last year's Grey Cup game, and with more on the sunny sideline. Here's Sarah.
Yeah, Chris, well, it's probably no surprise that Trevor Harris, that Calgary was the team that he thought about more in the offseason than any other one in the league, given how their season ended last year with that Grey Cup loss. He said that it would, for the first couple months after that game, he would wake himself up in the middle of the night thinking about different plays that had happened and would jot down notes regarding it. He first watched film of that Grey Cup in middle of January. He said that he realized at that point in time he wasn't going to be back in Ottawa. He felt that it really helped him to be able to close the door, move on from it, and he's fully immersed himself now with the Edmonton Eskimos and is looking, as you've mentioned, for his first win against the Stampeders.
6 for 10 now after that completion to Calvin McCarty.
Well, I'll tell you what, as an Edmonton Eskimo, he better learn how to beat the Calgary Stampeders. That is goal number 1 when you become an Edmonton Eskimo.
Go! 180!
2nd and 7. And trying to throw over the middle through the hands of Kevin Elliott. And another incompletion and another punt. Elliott getting the call today instead of the former Stampeder Tavares Daniels.
It was just a couple of looks there. I was kind of curious to see if Trevor Harris would go over and say something to Kevin Elliott. Just don't worry about that one. We'll get it back. And they just made eye contact, and that was all that was necessary.
3 consecutive 2-and-outs for the Eskimo offense. Terry Williams has been dangerous.
Time count. Edmonton, number 70. 5-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
So they'll back up 5. And the penalty totals down to 9 in each of the last 2 weeks. But the most penalized team in the league continues on that pace here so far this evening. That's Romar Morris this time, and he'll bring it back to the 40.
All right. This, speaking of the Battle of Alberta, looks just strange, and I think it will all season long to see J.C. Sherrod in white and red. Calgary Stampeders, and boy, talk to any one of the linebackers for Calgary, and they'll tell you how important he's been for their growth and development. You see his resume outstanding as a player, but sometimes that doesn't transition to the coaching ranks, and he certainly has, because Corey Greenwood's having a fantastic year in the middle. I mentioned leading the league in defensive plays.
Here's Morris, and he gets smothered. Big play there off the edge by Kendall Victors out of Tennessee in his rookie season in that rotation on that Eskimo defensive line.
Just solid, top to bottom. I mean, when Alex Bazzi's getting 10, 11 rushes per game or snaps per game, and that's a good group.
Go!
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Arbuckle over the middle, pass is caught, and should be a first down for Reggie Begelton. They're going to mark it right at the 50. Has to get almost to the 51, so it'll be 3rd and 1.
Smart move by Begelton after he touches the ball for the first time. He's going to run that dig route, gets the ball, and sometimes you want to make a move in the open field, and sometimes you brace yourself, get ready for contact, get things going. He was right at the marker.
I don't think Calgary would like that spot. Looked like he had advanced a little further. They'll try the jet, and Marquis Ambles has the first down right at midfield before he's taken out by Larry Dean.
See if that Reggie Begelton catch can get this offense started. The other option, especially with the speedy Romar Morris and Terry Williams against a good front 7, is screen draw. If they're going to line up in the line of scrimmage and show like they're blitzing Edmonton, screens can get them into the next level, get those backs into the next level.
First down's even at 3 apiece.
There you go.
And it's Morris cutting it back. First down. Romar Morris looks quick in his return to the lineup after the Achilles injury kept him out for the last 8.5 months.
See, that's what happens when you load the field. There's Romar Morris, and watch him just kind of bubble out. Little swing pass, little swing screen here. Gets it outside. Now he's in space. Now he's got a chance to get something done.
13 yards. Arbuckle right back to work. Open target. And Sindani can't make the catch. Almost intercepted. Sindani, who fumbled deep in Ottawa territory that almost cost them the game last week, and he was very hard on himself after that game, despite the fact it was a win.
Looked like he had an issue with his hand position. It looked like he was
62, tombstone, one more tombstone.
Left hand over right hand to when he made the break, and then was trying to make the transition to scoop it and didn't get there in time.
Hey, man, you money.
Maybe thinking too much. Should just react.
Second down.
Look out.
Taekwon Class trying to jump it on Begelton, who hangs on. has the catch. He'll be short of the first down.
Boy, that was close. That was Taekwon Glass read that one, and it looked like he was gonna jump this baby. It looked Nick Arbuckle locked into this nice tight spiral though, and got it there just before Glass got there.
The video official has changed our spot to the 36-yard line. This will no longer require a measurement.
Another clutch catch by Beggleton.
So they move the ball back.
I asked Arbuckle yesterday, I said, is there a receiver out there that you're really gaining chemistry with every start? And he mentioned Beggleton. He said Beggleton and Eric Rogers. Said,
That's
you know,
good job, Reggie.
said I played with the backups
Good fight.
when I was the backup quarterback, so I kind of know them. I've just learned over the last few weeks a lot more about Eric Rogers, a lot more about Reggie Beggleton.
Richie Pop. Haley.
Well, the change of the line of scrimmage impacts Dave Dickinson. He sends out Rene Paredes for the field goal attempt instead of a third down gamble, and Paredes 2 for 2 on game number 150. And the lead doubled down to a 6-point Calgary advantage. Ottawa Red Blacks, next opponent of the Eskimos at Commonwealth on August the 9th.
Go!
Eskimos trail, starting at their own 35. And another flag comes down. There's Elliott with the catch up around the 51-yard line. Let's see if it stands. Looks like it's coming back.
Holding, Edmonton, number 52. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Jacob Ruby.
13M. Here we go, hey, 13M. Our flow flat. Go! 180! 180!
CJ Gable and Wynn McManus throws that play up.
Let's go back left. Green. Go! Hurry, step.
2nd and 20, and the pressure on. Law unable to come up with him, but another flag comes down as getting written out is Elliott.
That's unbelievable.
And this time it's the Eskimo bench wanting a flag.
Holding, Edmonton, number 58. Penalty decline, third down.
That Travis Bond. Flag for the hold. That's 4 consecutive 2-and-outs for Jason Moss's crew. Again, Romar Morris is back. And Morris up to the 47-yard line. Helmet pops off. Coverage of the FedEx Cup playoffs gets underway next Saturday from Jersey City. Newly crowned Open champion Shane Lowry competes against Tiger, Koepka, McIlroy, and More in the Northern Trust. Catch third round action at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, only on TSN.
I'm trying a dark fly right in that corner. That's where I'm going fly fishing, right in there. I think that little back eddy would be nice right there.
Well, I'm not going to doubt you, but if I really want to know, I'm going to ask John Huffnagel.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Go!
Could be our fishing guy.
Arbuckle swings it to Begelton. Across midfield more. And taken down at the 45 of the Eskimos by Taekwon Glass. Pickup of 18.
Go. Hey, we got Y slide to fin right. Leave swing right. Pistol 36 truck on goal. Ready? Truck.
Hey, me and you, money.
There's the best fisherman in the
Go!
stadium here today, John Huffnagel. Antti Milanovic, leader, will get a turn.
Yeah, and you know, after our conversations yesterday with Nick Arbuckle and a couple of players and Dave Dickinson, and one of the few GMs in the league that will also help with the coaches and the coaching staff, and will break down the film just like he would, just like as a head coach, will give Dave Dickinson input. You know, and Arbuckle said it's not necessarily Huffnagel talking directly to the players. He wouldn't do that and go around Dave. He's going to just go through Dave, but another set of eyes. Tremendous coach in his own right.
And quarterback in his own right.
Absolutely.
Arbuckle wants a block, gets it, and has a first down. That's the longest run of the year for Nick Arbuckle, who'd only had a 3-yard scamper, but takes this one deeper into Edmonton territory. And with that first down run, we hit the 3-minute warning. Calgary's got the lead and threatening to add to that. Nice scamper here by the young quarterback, Nick Arbuckle. Three minutes away from Ram at the half. We'll check in with Rod Matt, Milt, and Davis and get their take on what has been a defensively dominated opening half.
Couldn't believe the panel never heard of Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, the movie last night.
Well, but it is the only panel that gets their own cheer team.
First down after that 10-yard run by Arbuckle. Spins that to Marky Dambles, and he can't hang on. Separated from the football by Archon Calhoun on the corner.
Yeah, Calhoun rips it out. I mean, it looked like Ambles had his hands around the football and looked like that was going to be a good catch. He also had Arbuckle, also had Eric Rogers over the middle in the hole in between. He elected to go to the sideline, out to the numbers here. You can see the catch is originally made, but
go! Hey, Hoover! Wanted, huh?
2nd and 10. Pocket collapsing, and Arbuckle goes down at the 35-yard line. There's the first sack of the game for the Eskimos, and it will go to their 5-time All CFL defensive tackle, Armando Sewell.
Arbuckle will likely talk to Dickinson and Bo Levi Mitchell on the sideline and talk about number 4, because I've been watching Eric Rogers away from the ball, and he's getting open.
Conversion on the
So Paredes back up.
Conversion on the tape, and when he did it,
they're taking a look at these. Let me look at that iPad. They'll see number 4 open.
Third straight from beyond 40 for Rene Paredes as they take a look at the tablet.
On 17.
I feel that if we're winning and we hit a field, right now we got to stay on schedule. That's too easy to pass up. Yeah, Petey.
With Ryan Dinwiddie. So 3 field goals for Dave Dickinson's
So did the
crew
Mike.
here in the second quarter.
Can't be.
All on the last 3 possessions.
So Trevor Harris got some work to do here.
Go! White 20! White 20!
Trying to get Gable established, but not much there. And CJ Gable now up to 14 yards rushing in this first half.
Here we go, Brown.
Both these
64.
defense playing
hey,
great. Brent Munson's group
Pile chase. 64
came into
Mars,
this
bunch,
one
bunch
leading
Mars.
the league in forced
Brown,
turnovers,
64 wide. Let's go.
but are doing more than that right now. They're just shutting down Trevor Harris in this offense.
Go! 180! What is it?
2nd and 8. Quick hitter caught and lunging ahead for the first down is Kenny Stafford.
Good decision by Stafford. Just get the first, get the momentum. Remember when Beggleton did that for Nick Arbuckle? They got a couple of field goals after that Beggleton catch.
S. Rambo.
Interesting to hear Milt Stiegel say that he thinks that Trevor Harris has been the best quarterback in the league this year so far.
Hurry, set up.
And I think he's got a point. You look at the numbers and the yards, but those numbers have dropped off of late.
Great play by the safety, Royce Metchie, cutting down CJ Gable for a loss of 3.
Nickel left top. 65. Green 65. Green 6 up. Here we go. X peak.
Stiegel also mentioned, and I agree, you know, like good quarterbacks, even if they lose one of their top receivers like Greg Ellingson for Trevor Harris, still should be able to distribute the ball, whoever fills in. And they've got good guys like Kevin Elliott filling in.
Hurry, set.
2nd and 13. Underneath it goes Tavon Smith, the catch. Well short of the first down, up to the 51, brought down by the defensive tackle, Mike Rose.
I really believe, though, and Harris has got some time here, and I believe that it is a couple of deep shots. You know, when you plant, a DB gets that planted in the back of his head that you're not afraid to go deep. You just take a step backwards before the snap of the ball. You just give that receiver a little bit more room.
I hear you. It's amazing, though, that in 6.5, not giving up a pass of over 30 yards.
Yeah, they're good.
That's just a stunning stat. O'Neill's boot, Romar Morris on the move again. And Morris with a flag down, another big Calgary return is going to be wiped out by penalty as Morris gets across the 45.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Well, if you joined us late, a 93-yard touchdown brought back.
Calgary, number 89. Half distance to goal. First down.
And this time it's Colton Hunchak, the rookie receiver, gets flagged.
Just locked into the review on the big video screen here at McMahon Stadium. Good hustle and good work downfield from James Tuck. Just hit whatever you see in front of you that has a different colored jersey on.
After the penalty, instead of being up near midfield, they have to start at the Stampeders 6. And off inside to Milanovic leader. Haven't seen Terry Williams in a while. Morris handling the punt returns, and now Milanovic leader is taking turns in the backfield.
Boy, if Terry Williams is nicked, and the word is from the sideline is, and Sarah, is that he's gone into the room early here. And if he's nicked and they have to lean on completely Romar Morris, we may see some more Milanovic leader.
I'm going to work this whole clock. Work the whole clock. Right tight, X on, W fly. Pistol, 34 zebra force, W sub on gold. Ready? 34.
Third Arbuckle trying to drain the clock here.
Hey, Hoover, go!
Not give Edmonton good field position with time left. Milanovic leader again. Good second effort, driving across the 16-yard line. He'll be close, but look like about a yard short.
funny. I said to Coach Dickinson, I said, so the rotation, Romar Morris, Terry Williams, how much? He goes, oh, don't forget Ante Milanovic leader. We're going to get him in the game a bunch. He volunteered that to me. It was almost as if they had a special package for him, and they've been impressed with his work on the practice field.
That's a great run by him to get the first down and able to kill the clock, so Edmonton's not going to get it back.
Go! Protect yourself. One, Eddie! Hot!
Arbuckle will have to do that one more time.
On the ball, same thing, on the ball. Same thing. On gold. Go! One, Eddie!
One more and it's done. Edmonton blanked Toronto last week. The Eskimos blanked in the first half this week. It's the Stampeders with 3 field goals and a 9-0 lead at the half as we head back to our panel. And here's Rod Smith.
Thank you, CC. It is Ram at the half. Welcome to it. Also brought to you by the letter D as in Davis or Dunnigan or Dynamic. Milt Stiegel. See, I know I could please some. You know what? We often talk about offense. We're going to talk about D, and rightfully so in this game.
Yes.
And really the strength of it for both sides. How about the secondaries?
And these are 2 of the better secondaries in the CFL, in my opinion. I think Davis is
Agreed.
You agree with me? So 100%. I don't mind saying that. And me talking about defensive backs, it's pretty cool, but these defensive backs are playing well. And I always say the 2 groups need to play well together to have success are defensive backs and offensive line. But you have to have some guys who can go out there and play man-to-man coverage. Because if you think you can just play zone in the CFL, you got another thing coming. You have to have some dogs, and both of these teams have some dogs. And I think the main reason is they have some great coaches. You look at Josh Bell in Calgary, and of course, Baron Miles, the Hall of Famer with 66 interceptions in Edmonton. They're very well coached, and you can see it by the plays they make, Chaz.
Yeah, and if you look at these teams defensive back-wise, a lot of guys want to be locked down guys. You think their ego says, get up on the line and bump and run and press, and your ego wants you to do that. But if you lock someone up 66 plays in a game, and 2 plays or 1 play they go over top, it's all washed. And you see these 2 teams, and there's a lot of tip balls. These are playing. That means you're playing good aggressive coverage. They're playing off coverage. They're seeing the field, and they're breaking on everything. And you watch the film with these 2 teams week in and week out, and there's a ton of tip balls. It's because they're breaking on things. They're aggressive.
One quick question. When you played, did you like playing bump or did you like playing off?
I love to play off for the reason I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, my ego tells me I want to get up and prove I can get in your face and lock you up, but I'd rather play off, let the quarterback make mistakes, and then you can break on balls.
I was going to ask how you play when you play me, but they would never put you over me, so go ahead, Matt.
No, we're going over the top. Whether he's bumping or where he's playing off, we're going over the top. Hey, you heard Glenn Suter talk about it. He says, and you got to put the fear of God, and you got to get them out of their back pedal, and you got to be able to go over the top. The Calgary Stampeders, CC said it, guys, 6.5 games all season long. The Calgary Stampeders secondary has not allowed an explosive play of more than 30 yards.
That is insane.
That is insane. And it shows in what Trevor Harris is doing. He is checked down Charlie right now because Calgary, that's what they're giving to him. The only one play that he had was to Kevin Elliott, who's in the ball game because Greg Ellingson, and they're missing Ellie today. And this is the biggest explosive play that they've had. And it was on 2nd and long, getting them out of their own, and it was huge. But this has been it since then. It's all in 2nd and long situations, dump it down. So
who is this Charlie guy?
So the trick is to be better on 1st and 10. Not put yourself in 2nd and longs. I guarantee it, Milt. You and I are going over the top sometime in a game 3, 4, 5 times just to let them know that we're not scared of that, and we're going to try to get that explosive play to try to loosen things up. I think Edmonton has to do that in the second half.
Do you think that's more Trevor Harris or Jason Moss? Do you think Jason Moss is calling some plays to throw it downfield and Trevor Harris is scared?
Well, I think he's handcuffed right now because you don't have Ellingson out there, and I really think that he's apprehensive. And we know his history with the Calgary Stampeders, 0-6-2. He's got 67.
That plays into it.
Oh, I think it does. I think it does. Yep.
Something we've talked about many times before about the Stampeders, though, no matter how many players leave, whether it's free agency or trade or they get hurt. And look at that secondary alone where on the field side they're new and the safety is new. And Brandon Smith is the one constant in Roberson last year. But, I mean, so much turnover, and yet they remain so solid.
Yep, you're missing 2 veterans from that secondary from last year, all-star vet guys, and they're back doing it again.
They're getting comfortable with each other, communicating really, really well, forcing a really good offense, looking very normal this afternoon.
Could they cover the dynamic one? Could they?
Who, me? No.
Maybe all of them together, but not one-on-one.
I'm taking
all of them
shots.
together, maybe.
I'm taking shots.
They just put the ball on the tee for him. Yes, he did.
We're going over the top, Mel.
Slurpee boys come up with another list. We're going to talk about the 7-11 player rankings. Stick around at the half. Stampeders lead.
Past the first wave and the second.
Got some.
And now maybe outside over midfield before he's driven out by Vontae Diggs. Stampeder bench didn't like the way Diggs took that extra shot. But it is the Battle of Alberta, and it's on here at McMahon.
What a year in the Canadian Football League for the return game. So the 7-11 player rankings will look at just that. Our 7-11 Slurpee boy, producer Jamie, came up with this list. Frankie Williams of the Ticats, Devontae Dedmon. Wow, what a performance he had against the Alouettes. Brandon Banks, Chris Rainey. He also had a big one, too, against Winnipeg. Lucky Whitehead, Martese Jackson, Brandon Rutley. Okay, but it wouldn't be the same if we didn't tee off on Slurpee Boy's list. So, Matty, he's missed some names here.
I'm dropping the boy here. I'm just going with Slurpee, all right? And maybe Slurp for short. And first of all, Marcus Thigpen. I think one of the most explosive players in the Canadian Football League since he's come onto the scene is he's omitted. He's not even on that list. Lucius Purifoy.
I like that name, too.
Yes.
Love that name.
Great on kickoffs, not on punts, but he's a great kick returner.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's gifted, you know, but Devontae Dedmon has burst onto the scene like no other.
Yeah.
And I actually, Frankie Williams, I don't know if he should be at the top of the list there. You know, I'm a big Brandon Rutley fan based on what he's come overcome in the offseason, big ACL injury.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Guys, seriously, Slurp is off his game.
Yeah, I'm Lucius Purifoy as well. If you're top in the league, he only does kick returns, so you can't, it doesn't make this, and he's number one in the league in that, and he's also a defensive back. And his name is Ches.
Also a defensive
and he's
back.
Ches, so he's in the game for sure. Frankie Williams, I agree, he should be number one. He has more 30-plus returns than anybody else, meaning he hitting it.
Slurpee boy, didn't Ryan Langford just turn two?
He got cut.
He got cut,
Ottawa.
and Dedmon took his spot, and look what he's doing in BC now.
Doesn't count.
Yeah. That doesn't count.
He got two in
Yeah,
one
he's
game.
back in BC returning kicks.
He got two in one game.
But he was not the same returner as a Red Black as he's become with BC.
Slurpee boy is slurping again. I love everybody on that list. I love, if I had to go with one, though, it would be Chris Rainey. He would be my all-return guy right there.
Slow track in Toronto, too,
but
right?
I would go with Chris
One of those 7-11 rankings where 7's not enough. Maybe we should have 11. How about Terry Williams? Calgary Stampeders?
Yeah, makes
Another
sense.
possibility.
Makes sense. What about Charles Nelson?
Little bubble. Little chance we're counting the ways for points. There's not a whole lot to count here in a 9-0 score.
Neither team has over 100 yards passing as of yet, but with these rosters and these talented wide receivers I expect to pick up in the second half, two offensive head coaches must be pulling out their hair if either of them has much left.
Sensitive subject, right?
Yeah.
It's for the defenders, like Wynton McManus of the Stampeders standing by with Sarah Oleski.
Went in defensive battle out there in the opening 2 quarters. You were able to hold Trevor Harris to under 70 yards. How did you guys do it?
Just playing within the defense. We knew it was going to be a physical battle, but we wanted to come out and, be the more physical team. And so we proved that in the first half. We just got to come out and do it in the second half.
We talked about how this is the Battle of Alberta, but also with both of these teams being 4-2, you're looking to try to win to a tie into first place in the West Division. How much has that been discussed this week?
It really hadn't been discussed that much. We just focus on one game at a time. We keep picking, we let all the pieces take care of themselves. So we win one game at a time, we'll be all right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
What do they pass out in the dressing room? Well, something to drink, something to snack on. Toothpicks, too, I guess, for Wynton McManus.
Locker room.
I'll tell you what, Stampeders have something going, especially defensively. A 9-0 lead second half about to begin in Calgary.
Hard to believe the last time these two teams met, there was 1,052 yards of offense and 90 points. It's 9-0 here at halftime. And before we start the second half, here's Sarah Oleski with the top tackler for the Eskimos, Vontae Diggs.
Vontae, you were able to hold them to field goals, down 9-0 though going into the second half. What stood out to you most about those opening 2 quarters?
They just have very good field position. Their defense is doing a hell of a job keeping our offense real quiet right now. So really coming out, and we're going to make our little adjustments that we made, and our defense is going to continue to play ball. If they got to continue to hit field goals and short field, then that's a win for us.
what was said at the half amongst defensive players?
A lot of ticky-tacky stuff away. You know, we're playing too far off. We're not being as physical as we want to be at points at the point of attack. So all we're trying to do is get back to playing the way the Eskimos play.
Appreciate the time.
No problem. Thank you.
And Suits, we are allowed to tell you that when Vontae Diggs signed with Jason Moss and the Eskimos, the first thing he looked up was, who are the arch rivals? He loves rivalry games. He went to Connecticut, hates Boston College. I'm guessing he wasn't a Doug Flutie fan, although that's obviously a different era. But Vontae Diggs had 6 tackles in that first half.
I love that he divulged top secret information. It was excellent. We can't tell you that, but I'm going to tell you.
Man.
All right, Tease.
Well, if we tell him Doug Flutie played for Calgary,
that might
really
put him. Yeah, that'll put him over the edge.
Artis Jackson to start this second half. And gets angled out by Mike Rose, the big defensive tackle on the cover team for Calgary.
Well, the second half, we'll look and see maybe why Calgary is as good as they are.
Let's get something going now.
At preventing the explosive
Here we
play.
go. We got trips right tight. 95, W Shack, Z Fire on one ready.
Trevor Harris, 3 straight games, went out a 300-yarder. That hasn't happened to him since 2017. And they start on the ground to Gable. And again, the run game has been snuffed so far. Run.
Had a great talk with Trey Roberson yesterday and asked him about what he prefers when he said he watched the Delvin Breaux, Shaq Evans matchup the night before in Saskatchewan. He said, I like playing off and pattern reading. I like just letting the routes develop and jumping one or two of them.
Sounds like a former quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
180. 180.
Second and 6. And his catch there. That's Natea Che with the grab. Working against the corner, Raheem Wilson. And he's out. About a yard short.
Yeah, well short. He's.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. It's a lot further than that. Yeah.
He had to come back to make that tough catch. You heard Harris, or you may have heard Harris saying he was unhappy with the throw that pulled him right back 4 yards short of the first down.
But back here in the second half. And Hugh O'Neill to punt. From the 26 with a flag down. A lot of flags on Calgary returns.
Well, taking some big plays off the board. I mean, the first quarter, that Sopik block from behind took a 93-yard touchdown off the board for Calgary. Another long return late in the first half, negated by penalty. So I'm sure that was discussed at halftime.
On this hitch. Calgary, number 37, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Abu Kante is flagged, and it's another long field to start the second half.
Hey, it's on Miami. On Miami. We got Wizards right. Wizards right, 163 Harley. Backside lock Houston on Miami. Ready? Miami.
Buddy, come take this curl.
Stampeders without a touchdown in their last 7 quarters. Last man to score, Jawan Prescott, who underwent knee surgery this week. And more trouble here as that's Sindani ahead of the snap.
Hey, Maya.
Offside, Calgary, number 87, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
A lot of juggling of different mics in the live mic game, quarterbacks and defensive players. We've got Josh Johnson.
Watch this curl by number 2.
Yep, got you.
There you go. And I've heard this communication of Johnson a couple times. Not sure if you have it home because of the mix, but he is given a heads up to Money Hunter on almost every snap. There's a curl he just mentioned.
And on Ambles immediately And he'll drive him back. Forward progress looked like about the 11-yard line, so short pickup.
That's the other thing about pattern reading. It's about the study you do during the week with the opponent. And if you can be ahead of the game as far as almost calling their plays by formation. So they break the huddle, Calgary, and Josh Johnson's looking out there saying, watch the curl here. It's going to be the curl inside. We just saw the curl. He called the play before it happened.
Go! Want it, huh?
2nd and 11. And Arbuckle in trouble, and he'll be dropped. Mike Moore finishes him off. And it's the 2nd sack for that sack-leading Eskimos defense.
Hey, come.
Like outside pressure. Dean's coming as well. Larry Dean on a blitz. That outside pressure, though.
I think that was Brian Walker.
Yeah, Walker flushed him up into the pocket, and Moore gets his 5th.
25 sacks on the year for Edmonton. Boy, the Stampeders had allowed 19 in the first 6 games. Maber's going to concede the safety here. Killing a little bit of time with the wind at the back of the Eskimos, but Edmonton's now on the board, down by 7. David Spade's back on TV, and he's bringing his comedy friends along for the ride. To dish the dirt on pop culture, watch Lights Out with David Spade, Monday to Thursday, 11:35 Eastern, on Comedy. So a safety conceded by the home side. And now Calgary will kick off to Jason Moss's team, down by a converted touchdown.
Get a return here. Get a return. Get a return. Let's get it going.
Martese Jackson will try and provide what the coach is looking for. Return game's been improving in recent weeks. But Jackson boots this one around a little bit. And now in trouble. Trying to kick it outside. Nate Hawley is there. And finally drilled it again. It's Mike Rose. How about the defensive tackle? That's a couple of kick cover tackles for Big 91.
Saying something about his athleticism when you put a guy that size on the cover team, because he's got to be able to get down there with enough speed to be in that same level as the rest of his cover guys. If he's not, that's where the gap will be, and that's where the return team exploits it.
Go! 180! 180!
Pressure coming, but it got picked up, and there's the shot they were looking for. In stride, down the sidelines. Ricky Collins, touchdown. 83 yards.
And there's the explosive play Matt Dunnigan was talking about at halftime, and we talked about in the first quarter, in the first half. Edmonton needed the big play down the field to just get the Calgary secondary to back off, plant the seed in their head that they're not afraid to go ahead and go deep, even if you haven't given up an explosive play all year. They have now. Ricky Collins right down the sideline.
They had 86 yards of offense prior to that play. 83 for the touchdown for Ricky Collins.
Just like that. Chris. Hey, man, at the hole, no time. What's happening? Right there. Real time score, baby.
First touchdown as an Eskimo. Biggest play of the game. Shot White adds the convert. 14th in a row for him in that department.
Let's go.
And just like that, the game is tied.
Hey, let's go. Hey, what's the man? Hey, what's the other one?
And that Eskimo bench just got a shot of adrenaline.
Well, it was taking advantage of a play defensively that you don't see very often in the Canadian Football League. More so in the NFL. But let me show you what Calgary was attempting to do here. They were coming with a corner blitz, and they were going to drop off a linebacker, Nate Hawley, into the outside third there to try and just cover the blitz, thinking that the blitz will get there from Trey Roberson faster than they can get it, but they got it blocked up. And when they block up that blitz, now they got a linebacker trying to cover deep on Ricky Collins, and he gets caught on that little curl. He stops his back pedal, and Collins is gone in behind him. He got caught in a corner blitz.
O'Neill's kickoff to Williams from his 7, and there's that opening for Terry Williams. Can O'Neill bring him down? No way! And how about this? 103 yards. Terry Williams gets it right back.
That move, unreal. Just like that. What a move at the top of the return with one man to beat. I know he's the kicker, but this was a sweet move anyway. Not here. Now watch, he breaks to the outside. Now full speed down the side. Watch how he freezes Hugh O'Neill. Right there, little inside move, and he just freezes him there. In fact, looked like he jammed his knee trying to redirect. Wow.
Hey, look at the camera and tell me you're the best. Tell him you're the best. Tell him you're the best.
Was he on the returners list in the panel at halftime? I can't remember if he was, because you better get him on there if he wasn't.
Now they'll go for 2. 6 for 8 on the year.
Go! 180! 180!
And a handoff inside. That's not going anywhere. But Terry Williams, who provided the biggest play in the Grey Cup game last year.
Love everybody. Hey, we just trying to be the trying to be the best, man. That's it. You know, we got more.
Shrugging that 103-yard return was easy. The 83-yard touchdown for Edmonton preceded it. And suddenly there's been back-to-back explosions at McMahon.
Let's go back to the first explosion, as you mentioned, Chris, the big play to Ricky Collins down the sideline on the attempted corner blitz from the Calgary defense, picked up, and then right back at you. Calgary comes back with Terry Williams on the return, and a unbelievable move on the kicker, Hugh O'Neill. We'll get an update on his health, because it looked like he may have jammed his knee when Williams put that little shake on him and froze him in his steps.
First kick return touchdown of the year for Calgary, the 14th of the league, and that sets a record now. That's the 8th kickoff return touchdown, the most ever in a CFL season. We haven't hit the halfway point. Martese Jackson gets stuck by Hawley.
Hawley wanted to come back. He was the guy in deep coverage, caught out of position, not because he'd made a mistake, but because he was out of position in the matchup. If the quarterback gets time on a corner halfback blitz from one side where you're taking two DBs and you're blitzing them and putting a linebacker back to take the deep receiver, that's got disaster written all over it if the quarterback has time to throw.
Stampeders had only allowed 18 third-quarter points prior to that Collins touchdown. Harris looking downfield again. Now just dumps it off. And the catch made by Gable up to the 35. He has 8.
Sometimes the quarterback dumps it down by design. Sometimes he reads coverages and dumps it down. Sometimes he panics because the pocket's collapsing. Did you hear Trevor? I'm not sure if you heard it, but Trevor Harris there, as the pocket was collapsing around, he goes, CJ.
Wide middle, Z post, I'm wondering.
Trying to get his attention. I'm in trouble here.
Go! 180! What is it?
2nd and 2, calls CJ's name again. And a first down. Cut down by Royce Mechie, the safety, but the yardsticks move for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Huddle, huddle, huddle. Huddle, huddle, huddle.
Trevor Harris now with 14 completions. He has 19 consecutive 20 completion games.
Here we go. Here we go. We got Kings left swap. 90 stone, W flat, X diagonal, Y Halloween on one ready. Yeah, 90 stone. Left side, left side. Go! 180! What is it?
And a handoff to Gable again. It's taken down at the 45. Brandon Smith stepped up to help bring him down along with Holly.
Huddle, huddle, huddle. Huddle, huddle, huddle. Hey, we're off the hash.
Two great pros going at it there. Got one right here, and then CJ back in the backfield. And really amazing the record the Calgary Stampeders have when Brandon Smith is in the lineup. 123, 38, and 1.
A 762 win percentage. Trevor Harris has completed 9 straight. Looking for 10 in a row, and a nice catch there. It's Tavon Smith with the catch, going to be a yard short. If they give him the 50-yard line, it'll be 3rd and 1.
Is it a short one or a long one?
It looks like a little more than one.
Because if it's a long one, you're tempted here, I think, if you're Jason Moss, to kick it and play field position when you have the wind at your back. But if it's a short one, you want to go. They're going.
It's full yard.
It's going to be
hard
right
to see if the spot might be a good one. Looks like they're lining it up on the 51, which would be enough. I don't think the Stamps like the spot, obviously.
I think they might have to look at this anyway. Yeah, they're going to bring him in. That's how close this one is.
Well, the sticks are coming out. Didn't make it or miss it by much. They've been stopped 4 times on 3rd and short situations this year. David Beard has been shaken up, and that's causing a delay in the measurement, so we will step aside. Well, by about half the length of the football, they do have a first down, but without their starting center, David Beard. Remember, they've already lost.
Right side here.
Matt O'Donnell.
Go! 180!
Jacob Ruby will handle the center duties. Kyle Saxlett comes in. We've got 4 American offensive linemen now, and that will change the ratio. Calvin McCarty will likely have to stay in a lot now to keep the complement up.
Jacob Ruby moving into center there. That shotgun snap was high. Keep your eye on that, because if it's erratic.
Holding, Edmonton, number 56. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
First play for Saxlett, and he gets flagged for a hold.
Here we go, hey, green 764.
If the shotgun snap is high or erratic in any way in the next few snaps, it's going to take Trevor Harris's eyes off the coverage. You don't want to have to really concentrate too much on the ball coming back to you. It's got to be right in the spot you want it, so you can keep your eyes downfield.
Go!
Eskimos will allow just 1 sack all season long. Harris runs out of trouble here. Open is Tavon Smith. And another big play for the Eskimos, starting to stretch that Calgary defense.
Yeah, this one I believe it's from extension from Trevor Harris. He extends it with his pocket management here. He's got his eyes downfield, doesn't like it initially, and he feels the pressure inside. So when he steps up, he bounces, and then once he bounces, then the receivers react. The short guys turn up, and the deep guys come back, and Smith happened to be one of the short guys turning up.
35-yard connection. Fake to Gable. Gets it into the hands of Natea J. And he is dumped by Trey Roberson.
He's a football junkie.
He's a football player. Isn't
Yeah,
he?
and when I asked him, I said, hey, by the way, did you see Delvin Breaux and Shaq Evans in the Saskatchewan Hamilton? He goes, I watch all the games. I watch all the plays. I watch all the games.
50 goals flat.
One of the defensive stars of the league now.
Go! Hurry, set!
2nd and 7. Harris steps up. First Devon Smith had to reach back for that. And he's collared by Corey Greenwood. Be short of the first down, but 12 straight completions for Trevor Harris, and the field goal unit comes on.
That's really saying something, because there's a couple of deep balls in the 12, and also they're dealing with wind down there, more so than it looks from your TV. I think it's flags at the top of the uprights aren't really moving all that much, but the wind is swirling and it's stronger than it looks. We've seen it in the kicking game.
This is a 35-yard attempt. White with the most made and the most attempts this season. And he's missed this. Williams gonna bring it out. He is, and this time the wrong decision as he gets brought down by Tommy Draheim. And Dave Dickinson not happy with that decision. Stampeders backed up by the record or today's score, but this has been Dave Dickinson's toughest year. With more on that, here again is Sarah.
Yeah, Chris, well, you think about all the changes that Dave Dickinson, the Calgary Stampeders, have seen during the offseason with a number of whether it be players or coaches leave, but then also the injuries, season-ending injuries that they've had to deal with. And then, of course, this is the 5th game without the reigning most outstanding player in Bo Levi Mitchell. He said it is probably the biggest challenge he's had yet as a head coach, being this season so far. He said you like to have a veteran team that you can trust, but with a young team and guys that have that hunger, trying to keep their head above water, there's something really rewarding about that too. They don't know necessarily what the Calgary Stampeders are about, so you can teach them your template, the good, bad, and we'll see whether or not they're able to get another win here today.
Says they're still building, getting better. Now they got to get out of the hole. And Derek Dennis is out of his stance before the snap.
Some good, bad, and a little bit of ugly. And you saw the Dave Dickinson reaction. We don't have to explain how that was a bad decision to run that missed field goal
Calgary,
out.
number 63, half distance to goal, remains first down.
53 hot. Poster, backside dodge, our arrow on goal. Ready?
Now that was clear in our Reading Lips broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely. And he knows the quarterback position. He knows what it feels like to be standing in your own end zone on 2nd and long.
See if Nick Arbuckle can bail out the running back. Nice catch there. And Romar Morris
Nice
holds
touch
on to it at the 10, brought down by Kwaku Boateng.
I was going to say, nice touch on the throw, but I was more impressed with Kwaku Boateng taking the back out of the backfield and running with him to a point where he can make the tackle here. It was a very challenging catch, but if Romar Morris hangs on to that and doesn't have Boateng on his back, he might have got the first.
Big play here, 2nd and 2. Fake to Morris, crosser to Bingleton, and they're out of a jam with that big first down.
Really important there to get those 2 plays out of the. They get the restart on first down from Morris. Nice catch over the shoulder. This is almost a red zone play. Trying to get a little bit of a pick action going just to get enough to get some breathing room.
Initial first down of the second half for Arbuckle. Quick hitter back in the hands of Bingleton again.
You hear Josh Johnson there? Get the screen, money. He called it again. He said, get money, get the screen. Wow. And they run the hook screen.
Started in BC, a couple years with Jacksonville.
Yeah, stops in Ottawa, Hamilton, and now settling in the Edmonton Eskimo organization.
Played multiple positions on defense.
Hey, Money, watch the toss. Watch the toss, Money.
And you hear him again helping coach on the field. Not much there on the ground.
It is so important for the corner to talk to the halfback. And the safety talks to both halfbacks. And then they relay the safety's message outward. But the corners have the best vantage point of the entire look of the offense because they're sitting outside with nothing outside them. So their vision is into the offense. Sometimes the halfback is outflanked by the receiver. He can't really see the receiver at times. So he needs that cooperation and communication from the corner. And we're hearing a little example of it tonight with Josh Johnson.
There's Martese Jackson trying to bubble back. That didn't work, and he lost the football. It's still alive, and Calgary thinks they got it. It is Calgary football. Well, the Eskimos should have had decent field position, but Martese Jackson coughs it up. So mistakes by the last two returns. Let's find out if this one's even more costly than the Williams decision.
Holding, Edmonton, number 91. Penalties decline. This play turned into Calgary's ball, first down.
Flops the field immediately. Turnover and interception, block kick. Completely changes field position. Boy, it's...
Not sure if it was Fraser Sopik or Royce Menchie who finally got a handle on the hot potato. Calgary ball at the 40-yard line. Fake to Morris, and away goes Ambles. And Ambles got a first down at the 25. Taken down by Mike Moore. 15 yards for Ambles.
Game of adjustments. Dickinson, great offensive mastermind, has come in with a little of these fly screen type plays where they've got either Begelton, in this case Ambles, going across the formation and shooting out to try and catch the Edmonton Eskimos up in the line, not being able to redirect.
Stampeders lead the league in points off turnovers.
Look out.
So Arbuckle got crunched that time.
Oh, did he ever. Oh, did he ever. And that's in the passing arm, too. I can see that one coming.
Yeah.
Right off the edge, and I'm not sure if this is a blocking miss. It is. It's just a whiff by Nila Kazatati.
And an earthquake-oo. Quaku-Bote.
See that torque in the arm again. It just gets stopped suddenly. Arbuckle took a second with that arm kind of hanging, and he's trying to loosen it up as he...
Montel Kozar is warming up. Not sure if this is a
timeout, Calgary.
Concussion protocol move to get... Or Arbuckle just going to test the arm. Wondered if he was being called out of the game, but he's going to test the arm during the timeout.
Shake it out.
And Kozar warming up as well if needed.
Well, this is smart by, and I'm not sure if Bo relayed to Dave Dickinson to call a timeout and let his quarterback try and loosen it up, because he was right there beside Dave, and I'm wondering if he didn't maybe say, hey, I think it was worth using one of your timeouts. Make sure your quarterback's right.
I think Jason Moss is wondering about a concussion protocol situation.
Go!
Second and 10.
Got
time. Pass is caught by Rogers. Touchdown. Just his second catch of the game, 5th touchdown of the year.
Eric Rogers does so much right and so much well, but one of his great assets and skill sets is his ability to catch with his hands away from his body and away from the defender. He will give himself a chance by extending those arms, that long reach that he has, catches it away from the defender. They're swatting at it like swatting flies, and they can't get it outside of his reach. And then once they've missed the tackle now because they were swiping at the ball, he turns and makes them pay for that with the touchdown run.
This is the second time he's been targeted. First Calgary touchdown in 8 quarters. Looking for 2. Looking for Rogers, and Glass with the interception. Now if he takes it back, it's worth 2 for the Eskimos. Got a long way to go. And a lot of Stampeders to beat. And he'll get dragged down at the 15, but that's the second straight 2-point convert missed by Calgary. So 6 points off that Martese Jackson fumble. It's the touchdown for Eric Rogers, 25-yard catch and run. 21-9, Calgary.
This program may contain coarse language that could offend some viewers. Discretion is advised.
9-0 at the half, and now it's 21-9, Calgary with the lead. First offensive touchdown in 8 quarters for Calgary on that play by Eric Rogers.
You know, that third quarter, an example of what we love about the Canadian Football League is that it was a defensive struggle for 2 quarters. Looked like it would continue that way with 2 good defenses on the field, and then all of a sudden, explosion plays right and left, both offensively and the special teams. 21 points scored in the third quarter between the 2 teams, and now all of a sudden looks like it's going to be an offensive explosion.
Yeah, the quarterbacks look sharper, and as you said, as the guys on the panel said, stretching the field has made a difference. But Martese Jackson, who fumbled on that last kickoff, was injured on the play, and he's getting help to the Eskimo bench, or Eskimo room, with what appears to be a right shoulder injury. Shai Ross will come in and drop back along with Tavon Smith. Edmonton with just 1 big return on the year. A 30-yard punt return, so it's been one of the weaknesses in their game. Shai Ross with a burst up near the 30-yard line before he gets dragged down by Robertson Daniel.
Got Atlanta here.
Second half for Trevor Harris. Look at that. Perfect so far.
Big team, big team, big team. Here we go, fellas, here we go. Here we go, we got North Queens right, squeeze, W fly. We got Atlanta, W wrap, X Cobra, Z fat spear on 1 ring. I'm passing it though, so rapper, just fast pro.
Did I hear Queens? Because if I did, this play may work.
180! 180 up!
You're reaching, man.
Downfield,
and it works.
You betcha.
Go back to
Kenny
Queens.
Stafford.
13 straight completions for Trevor Harris. He's going to need to keep it rolling here.
That one dedicated to Jock Climby, the old Golden Gale.
Here we go, we got a fib, wing, Queens left, Z spin, 13M to W.
Nice touch. Over the first level, in front of the deep level.
Let's go, Ricky, let's go.
27 to Stafford, 3 catches in the game.
180!
Ricky Collins in motion. 4 receivers wide side. They look at the other way though, and had to throw that away. Cordero Law was running interference and nowhere to go for Calvin McCarty.
Huddle.
That's a read by Cordero Law. That's Cordero Law reading the situation and sniffing out the screen. Steps up and he hesitates because he sees the release of Calvin McCarty and says, well, I'm going to play the play. The late Don Matthews used to say it all the time. If you see it, don't go out of your responsibility. Don't worry about your responsibility. Play the play.
Ends his streak of 13 consecutive completions. 2nd and 10. And up to get that to Elliott. Short gain at the 50. It's going to be 3rd and 5. Brandon Smith the tackle, and there's a Stampeder shaken up on the play. And that's Derek Wiggin, who happens to be from Queens. Not sure what happened there, but the punt team's going to have to come on, and Wiggins looks like he's going to be able to get to the sideline.
They're going to play with the defense out there, take Wiggins out, but substitute for him and leave the defense. I think I heard that from the
Major
sideline.
foul, roughing the passer. Calgary, number 96, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Roughing the passer now to make an automatic first down.
That keeps Edmonton on the field. Chris Casher called.
Hey, Finn, spread left. Finn, spread left. Hey, Saturn over here. Finn, spread left, Saturn. Here we go, green 365, green 365.
Well, that's what happened.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Costly penalty against Casher.
Just a real bad decision. They were off the field. Calgary's defense.
Green.
No reason to do that at all.
Green.
Two-hander in the back and new set of downs.
Quick hitter. Catch is made. Ricky Collins another grab. And it's going to be second and short.
I will. Huddle. Huddle. Here we go. We got Queens left, Amigo. 95 Shack, W wrap. 95 W Shack, X wrap. One middle Z post on one ready. Let's go.
So Queens is a formation. Queens is Queens left.
Go!
That looks like
second and a yard and a half.
Tight end.
Using it as a free play or not. Going to take a shot. Going to go to the end zone. Collins, touchdown. Ricky Collins has his second touchdown.
No. I gotta try and sell it, bro. You feel me? Where are you? Hey, yeah. Fill one in on that scout report.
So Trevor Harris talking about Mike Rose catching him on the chin. But stands in and makes the play.
Yeah, but did you hear what he said as he was walking along? He asked if he got hit in the chin to the ref. The ref said no. He said, "But am I bleeding?" And then he's walking with Ross, and he says, "You know, I got to sell it. I'm trying to sell it." Huh.
Ricky Collins having a big day. 5 catches, 130 yards, and a pair of touchdowns.
The explosion plays the difference in this second half to get the offense going. The big one to Ricky Collins down the sideline, beating the corner blitz, was the start of it.
Further to the previous play, there is also roughing the passer. Calgary, number 91. 15-yard penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
He sold it.
Hey, later to the head!
Come on now, okay, you go lead.
So that'll be important. 15 yards on the kickoff. John White's missed a convert now. First convert missed this year. And Terry Williams tossed down. Flag comes down, and that might negate the penalty that was going to be tacked onto the kickoff.
You know what it is, 1007, baby. Mount Tyler Sport Project. Hey, what's up, family? I love everybody back home.
Got 7 good reasons I should give her a call. It all worked out when you walked out, girl, I'll tell you the truth.
Count the Ways, the new single from Jade Eagleson. Listen on Apple Music.
Travis Bond on the right called for a roughing penalty on the convert after the initial roughing penalty on the passer against Chris Casher. So the kickoff is normal. And Terry Williams drops the ball, and the Eskimos get it back. Godfrey Onyeka's got the football, and suddenly the Eskimos have the momentum.
Hey, let's go, D! Hey,
See who made the tackle and caused the fumble. Williams has been great on those returns.
That's Nick Taylor flying downfield and separating Williams from the football.
Tackled the ball, got up high, got his right arm right across the elbow. Terry Williams got it out of there.
So each team's fumbled the ball on a kick return. Martese Jackson earlier, and now Terry Williams.
Go! 180!
Pitch to Stafford, makes the first man miss and ends up down around the 25-yard line, gain of 7.
Remember, Sean White misses a field goal and a convert, or this would be a 2-point game.
Hey, Stockton swap, Foxy. Stockton swap.
Remember the winner of this.
Hey, Robin.
With Winnipeg.
Here we go, green.
First to the West.
Go! Hurry, sir.
Second and short. And
did not get it snapped?
Did not get it snapped. A couple times today that's happened.
Procedure, Edmonton, number 56. 5-yard penalty remains, second down.
So it's early movement because I just took a quick look at the 20-second clock. There was a couple seconds left there. So they were getting right down to the wire as far as delay a game. And then early movement up front.
Let's go. Here we go. We got Hey, what's wrong?
12th Eskimo penalty of the game, and that hits the crowd of Big Man. Second and 7. And under the backfield, Gable with the leap, and then he gets punished by Greenwood in midair. There's the leading tackler in the Canadian Football League, Corey Greenwood, making his 6th of the game.
No hesitation here from Jason Moss. It's over a yard short. He'll take the points in this one-possession game. But a big tackle. And Cordero Law did not like that he had a stunt call from inside out there.
White from 31 yards out. Got that one. 21-18. It's now a 3-point lead. It's been an interesting second half. Let's check in with Rod Smith and the guys.
And CT, the Coors Light answering the call, focused on offense. Calgary's O-line doing their jobs for the most part. A couple of Edmonton sacks, but the numbers are certainly down. CJ Gable just 27 yards on the ground. Trevor Harris, though, waking up in the second half with a couple of touchdown tosses to Ricky Collins. We'll be back.
Turning out to be the game we expected and had hoped for. First of 3 meetings between the Alberta rivals. And now a 3-point game with just under 10 minutes left. Terry Williams brings that one back just across the 30-yard line. Nick Arbuckle, 6 of 8, 69 yards here in the second half.
It's been an outstanding weekend of Canadian football. Real close games, one-possession games, overtime between Ottawa and Montreal last night, and now we've got a barn burner, 3-point game down to the final half of the fourth quarter. So let's see what Nick Arbuckle has.
We've got Queens left switch, 52 hot scurry, backside hash wide drag on goal. Ready?
I think both teams have Queens.
I'm not surprised.
Go! One it, huh?
Ambles, does he have the catch? Does secure it and has a first down up at the 43.
Markeith Ambles has been fighting it a little bit tonight, but they need him now because that ball was put right where it had to, on time, out of the break. Bam, right between the 1 and the 7.
That's tough, 48. Why Aussie on goal? Ready? On goal.
5 catches, 41 for Ambles.
Go! One
And a handoff to Reggie Begelton, and he'll take it to midfield. Back-to-back first downs for the Stampeders.
Yeah, Begelton has been involved in this stuff. Amble's involved. The adjustment clearly at halftime was to work horizontally offensively, fly sweeps, push to the flat. The way that Edmonton can counter that is to widen their linebackers and cut off the edges. Harden the edges a little bit so they can't exploit out here or out here as easily.
Go! 6 different Stampeders have carried the ball today. Arbuckle steps up, and a little juke there to get a couple of extra yards. Down around the, well, they're going to spot it back at the 53, so just a gain of 4.
Justin Lawrence working on Armando Sewell right in the middle of your screen. Sewell number 90. And he's going to go to the guard and get on to Justin Lawrence. We told you how young these guys are. They're holding on now, trying to give their quarterback a chance. It's a nice block by the U of A product.
Go!
Passing situation, 2nd and 7, and he throws another strike. He's got Begelton in front of Taekwon Glass for a first down at the Edmonton 43.
Keep it rolling.
He's at it again.
Let's go.
This time it's Bazzi. Hold him off, hold him off. Bazzi trying to use his hands, getting up high, trying to knock the guard's hands away. Justin Lawrence giving his quarterback time to throw those deeper curls.
Big guy from Spruce Grove Composite. Handoff inside. Romar Morris looks quick, doesn't he? And he dragged down at the 38 as a gain of 5.
Okay, we're watching you. We're watching you, 6'8". And another nice one coming out and around. This time it's the lead block from the guard position on the kick out, where he's pulling it to get the run. Here he goes, a kick out on Bazzi, get the shoulder, and give Romar Morris a chance to get started.
Go!
2nd and 5. Pressure coming, and they get home. Down goes Arbuckle, the sack made by Mike Moore. And Moore has his 2nd sack of the game.
Well, you had to widen, and again, I'm talking about if it's an end player or it's a linebacker. In this case, Moore, see how he widens his split between he and Armando Sewell? He's trying to do 2 things. Harden the edge a little bit so they can't run those fly sweeps, but he goes around the corner and it makes it tough to block for Derek Dennis to tackle.
Dave Dickinson sent out the field goal unit. Rene Paredes is going to try a 52-yarder, which would match his career best. Wind at his back, puts it up, and he's missed it. Taekwon Glass coming out.
No way.
And maybe a bad decision by Glass, as Pierre-Luc Caron, the long snapper, and Ante Milanovic leader down there in a hurry. So a miss for the Stamps, but a long field for Edmonton.
So Trevor Harris at the Grey Cup last year was the quarterback on the wrong side of the scoreboard. He said, as Sarah mentioned in the first half, he had trouble sleeping because of that all through the offseason, and still hasn't beaten the Calgary Stampeders as a starting quarterback, 0-6-2. And he is getting hungry to get that done tonight. Let's see if he can put together some first downs here and get things going out of his own hand.
Didn't have a touchdown pass in the previous 2 games. A couple to Collins here tonight. But starting at their own 6. Time, the receiver, and Elliott has a big catch up to the 25. There's some breathing room for the Edmonton offense.
I think that deep ball to Ricky Collins down the sideline has put Calgary in a lot more zone looks. And with the 4-man pressure, you're right, Trevor Harris is getting time to throw, and they're finding the holes in those zones.
And Harris over 300 yards for the first time in 4 games for the 3rd time this season.
There goes
Back to Elliott again. And Elliott corralled by Jamar Wall, who missed last week. Dave Dickinson happy, he said earlier in the week, to have one of his leaders back.
Brown. Here we go, 75. Hey, Z Harvey. Hey, Spoke 75, or Spoke 74. Hey, Spoke Harvey, Delta, yeah.
2nd and 5.
Go!
And he's taking a shot here. Incomplete. Down that sideline, trying to connect again with Elliott. And Raheem Wilson in coverage.
I'm not sure Kevin Elliott knew he was the target. I think he thought he was a decoy in this. And don't get caught sleeping if you think you're away from the play, because he's kind of just, maybe he doesn't find it in time. He just looked like he was cruising down that sideline, not really with the sense of urgency Trevor Harris needed.
Just the second incompletion in his last 22.
That's a stop Calgary needed, though.
O'Neill punting. Williams securing the football. And taken down at the 51. There's Vontae Diggs in on the stop, along with Tanner Green. So one more play before the 3-minute warning in a 3-point game.
Boy, a chance here for Calgary to really grind it down now, take up as much time on the clock as they can.
Wide to YX, left, D-short tornado, ugly 562 Missouri, backside wide bass on gold. Ready? Go!
Bagleton in motion. They screen to the near side. Romar Morris surrounded. Look at the pursuit by the Eskimos. There are 6 Eskimos around Romar Morris. We hit the 3-minute warning there. Short gain, a 2nd and long upcoming. 21-18 Stamps.
Here's our mic'd up corner for the Edmonton Eskimos, Josh Johnson. And when you're the corner on this screen and you got a pulling offensive lineman coming out, this is your job. You've got to come in here, sacrifice your body, and create a pile. And Josh Johnson goes, oh, this is not the fun part of what I do, playing short side corner.
Yeah, outweighed by 106 pounds on that matchup. No gain on that play, though. 2nd and 10. Buddy Hunter shaking up. Nick Taylor in his spot. And a check down by Arbuckle. Takes the tackle. Going to be short of the first down. And Calgary facing a 3rd down and a decision, which will likely be a punt for Rob Maver.
Yeah, but this is an interesting decision too, because a single here makes it a 4-point game.
Tough window. No, you're fine.
With 2:15 to go, like you always are almost always playing for field position, but there's an argument to be made here that if you really crank one with the wind at your back and create a single.
Well, we wondered about Glass bringing the last one out. Was he instructed to?
I bet he was.
To make sure you don't make it a 4-point game,
but keep it at 3. We'll see if they can. It's a long kick though, still to get it there for me.
Wind at his back. Hit one inside the 10. Line drive. Shai Ross got it. And here's Ross with some speed. Does he get loose here? Caught from behind at the 24. Here, Luke Caron again, a good special team tackle, but a nice return by Ross. And Trevor Harris is a minute 43 to put that first W in the win column against Calgary.
5 on. Hey, we got a fib copper right. Hey, we got fib copper right. Fake 64, W deep Robin, R fast Stockton. And an S burst, hold up. Hey, be ready. Hey, this one you're working out unless you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Fib, copper right, fake 64. W deep Robin, hard fast, Stockton S burst on 1 ready.
One calling the play, the other the strong silent type on defense.
Field goal separating these two teams. Our crew tracked the field goals attempted into the wind in warm-up. None over 50. Harris navigates the pocket, then throws it away, incomplete.
Corner row. Here we go, hey, Turbo Olympics, Bronze Zip Olympics, Turbo Olympics. Here we go, 65. Hey, Hustle Olympics, Hustle Olympics. Frisco.
Sarah reporting the wind's really picked up, and you can even sense it here in the booth. Kicking up, not making it easy. Here comes the heat. Flag coming down on a hold. Pass is incomplete. And it will be 3rd and 10. And Harris clutching the knee.
Holding, Edmonton, number 67. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Colin Kelly called on the hold, but they're going to decline. And Jason Moss is not going to punt into the wind. Down by 3 with 1:32 to go.
Here we go.
Up to Trevor Harris to get 10 here.
Left yo-yo or skin. 770. W Cody special. Y swing X under. S check R1 on 1 ready. S check 770. Hey, R1. Go! 180. What is it?
McMahon gets loud. Harris trying to shovel it away. Incomplete. And it's a turnover on downs. And now Jason Moss needs his defense to hold Calgary to 3.
Cordero Law, I believe it's with Derek Wigan, had an interesting sort of formation. Look how they're stacked here to make it tough to try and figure out who you're going to block first. And because of this pressure, it was actually Rose and Cordero Law. Little twist there from Law inside was just enough pressure to force a bad throw from Trevor Harris. Oh, got a challenge flag coming for some.
Roughing the passer, number 41. Hit him in the face mask. Hit him in the head.
Edmonton is challenging a previous play.
Yeah, that's why you're going to give it.
Review.
Well, there's the verdict for the Calgary bench. Cordero says he's innocent. Is he? Doesn't look like there's anything there.
I heard Jason Moss say he got him in the face mask with his hand.
Oh. Flashed across the mask. That enough? Jason Moss believes he's got a case, but let's
Shout
find
out
out.
3. Hey, shout out Rose. Shout out Chris. Shout out Wig, dog. We all here today.
After review,
What's up?
ruling
What
on the
is
field
that? We
stands.
pulling up.
Edmonton is charged their timeout.
So the loss of the timeout could be significant.
Yeah. Shout out 3. Shout out Whitfield. Shout out 3, the whole set. Shout out my dog Ted. You know what it is?
You know, even 2 years ago, I would have agreed with what just happened here. But in today's football, I'm a little surprised they didn't overturn that. Because the hit to the face mask was enough to turn Trevor Harris's head. And any contact to the head of the quarterback has been called. So I'm a little surprised at that one.
You know, Jason Moss will follow up with the officials this week when they discuss calls and alleged miscalls. Right now, he's got to be ready for his offense to go on the field. He needs the defense to hold here.
Deuce right.
Hey, Money, watch the crack, Money. Watch the crack, Money.
Boy, Josh Johnson continues to coach on the field, doesn't he? Moore's had a little trouble taking that handoff, and Mike Moore brings him down short of the first down. So the field goal unit will come on to make it a 6-point game. And Edmonton's going to have something just under 40 seconds remaining, needing a touchdown in all likelihood to win.
I almost pushed the ball right through you, didn't I?
Now the command center on those hits will say that it has to be a blow to the head to constitute a roughing the passer call.
Hey, check,
So to be fair to the command center, that's the terminology. But now the question is, was it enough of a hit, or would you consider it a blow if it turns Trevor Harris's head the way it did? And again, under the umbrella of erring on the side of protecting quarterbacks, I'm still a little surprised.
It's a 6-point lead, 39 seconds on the clock.
They got to take it. 5R though.
5 R's, 5 receivers. So go with 1 back, CJ Gable. 5 receivers in the formation.
While we have the opportunity, a reminder, here's what's coming up next week. Quick turnaround for the Stampeders in a huge game, which could be for first in the West on Thursday Night Football. Friday, it's the live fight game between Saskatchewan and Montreal. And Ottawa will be at Commonwealth Saturday, the Hall of Fame game. The BC Lions in Hamilton to tackle the Tiger Cats. Down to the wire here.
They haven't had many, but the Eskimos need a big return here.
And without their key return man, although Shai Ross has looked dangerous on a couple of touches, the rookie out of Manitoba.
Have to back up almost to their goal line because of the wind factor here late in this fourth quarter.
And it will be Ross from his 8-yard line. And Sopik slowed him up and brings him down.
There's the play from Sopik. Remember the early penalty? Yep. Knew we'd see a big one from him because that's what good players do, and he makes a big tackle when they needed it.
In the second half, Trevor Harris, 15 of 20, 243 yards, and spread 2 touchdown passes.
He needs another 82 yards. In 33 seconds. Into the wind.
Get out, make sure you get out, Tom.
Against Cordero Rock.
Here we go. Go!
They got him right where they want him.
Right where they want him.
With apologies to John Hufnagel. Harris in trouble, and he throws a check down incompletion. And Mike Rose celebrating.
You know, this has been the last 3 or 4 minutes of this game. Calgary's D-line took it up another notch. And they're making it very uncomfortable for Trevor Harris. The pocket's collapsed around him almost the last 4 or 5 plays in a row here.
Wide delta, Z and W, Harvey's. Back switch on 1 ready. Yeah, back switch. Go! 180! 180!
Taking a shot here. Jump ball. Incomplete. Intended for Elliott, and Wilson on the corner, the rookie. Now it's 3rd and 10.
Well, they went back to this play. Remember the first one, Kevin Elliott didn't look like he saw it. This time, clearly, he's got a beat on it. In fact, he has both hands there, but Raheem Wilson doesn't quit on it, punches it out.
All game on the line. It's in, and they get it. Tavon Smith, clutch catch, rolls out of bounds at the 42-yard line, still alive with 16 seconds to go.
Still alive, and Trevor Harris took a pounding to make an accurate sideline throw, falling away from it, and put it right there. Trey Roberson was in perfect position, and Harris threw him open.
Green, go! Hurry,
Downfield for Collins, got another catch at the 50. Time for 2 more plays and 50 yards of real estate still to negotiate.
Harris is limping.
And Harris on the limp.
Yeah, Harris is limping. He got clipped at the end of that one.
And an injured Stampeder, I think that's Cordero Law, also down.
Hey, come here. Hey, come here, hurry.
There it is right there. Casher rolls into him late.
So Law has to come out for 3 plays. His night is done.
Here we go, hey, gold right, 75, wind it! Wind the clock! Go! Hurry,
Wide open down that sideline, it's Elliott. And Elliott will step out. And he took up too much time. I don't think there's any time on the clock. Jason Moss wants it checked. If there's 1 second left, they've got a chance to get to the end zone.
Okay.
That extra move
The
by
command
Elliott.
center is verifying the time on the clock. We're going to hold on until they verify time on the clock.
Well, let's take a look. Is there a second remaining, or did time run out with that play?
Elliott need to get out,
If
take
he goes
3
out
steps
right
and get
there.
out. No, he's not out there. 2. No.
And that extra yard, well, he'll still be okay. So he should be okay. There should be 1 more play, but they've got a shot.
According to that burn-in right there.
At the 17.
That foot steps on the white, and that one is still 1 second. We're probably in tenths by then, but they're going to rule 1 more second.
After review by the command center, we have 1 second left in this game. First down, Edmonton.
1 play left. And a chance for the Eskimos to pull it off. 5 plays, 64 yards.
In 33 seconds.
Do they have 18 yards more left in the tank?
What is it?
Trevor Harris for the win to Kevin Elliott, jumping and incomplete. Game over. And the Stampeders have won the latest Battle of Alberta. And it was every bit that here this afternoon.
Design play to Kevin Elliott to try and see if he can win the jump ball. Jamar Wall climbs the ladder, comes from underneath the play, leaves his zone, and watch him elevate to get his hands on this ball, knock it away, and preserve the Calgary win.
Trevor Harris, 373 yards passing in a losing cause. The first of 3 meetings. They'll do it again right back here on Labor Day. Time now for the Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by the Nissan Titan, the official vehicle of the Canadian Football League.
Well, it wasn't a perfect night for Terry Williams. There was a fumble, but he had 241 return yards, and early on when the offenses were stalled, he kind of kick-started their momentum, got things going for Calgary in a couple of real key returns, 103-yarder, so despite a couple of gaffes, A big, big night for Terry Williams, and we'll give him the player of the game.
Well, temper's still boiling over here after the game. Kenny Stafford having some words. Like Robertson Daniel, with the Joker paint involved as well. Well, it started slowly, but what a second half. Dramatic stuff, and the Stampeders are now tied for first in the CFL at 5-2 with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the West, and they'll meet on Thursday. We'll see you then. Until then, so long. Here comes SportsCenter.